Welcome to today's hearing entitled Surveying the Space Weather Landscape. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes for an opening statement. And I welcome you again to this important subcommittee hearing of the Environment Committee and the Space Subcommittee as well. We're entitled Surveying the Space Weather Landscape. And first, I thank each member of this panel here today. We have excellent witnesses, and I'm excited to hear their testimony on this important topic. With an issue as complex and consequential as this one, it is important that we begin a dialogue on where we are and where we are going. There are many exciting developments in space weather, from innovative space weather technologies and the accuracy of space weather forecasting models to the potential impact space weather can have on our terrestrial environment. All of these topics are important and worth addressing, but I think it's crucial that we first lay the groundwork for understanding the current policies, procedures, and major players in both the private and public sectors. I'm pleased to have key stakeholders from private industry as well as academia, along with leaders from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, with us today. I look forward to hearing from them about not only what their efforts have been in this arena, but also what they think the future holds for the observation, modeling, and forecasting of space weather events. Just as it is a primary driver of weather on Earth, the Sun is also the largest driver of disturbances in our space environment. Solar winds, whose charge and intensity ebbs and flows with various solar phenomena, interact with Earth's magnetic field in interesting and sometimes highly adverse ways. The result of these interactions are what we refer to as space weather storms. While often relegated to the magnetosphere, these storms can and do have tangible and sometimes highly damaging effects in the upper atmosphere and at the terrestrial level. These can range from issues with the performance and reliability of spaceborne and ground-based technological systems, all the way to endangering human life or health. As with terrestrial weather, without thorough monitoring and accurate modeling, we simply have no good way to predict space weather events, and in turn, no ability to ensure that citizens are kept out of harm's way if severe events arise. In the federal government, NASA and NOAA are tasked with monitoring and issuing forecasts that inform the public. To make these forecasts, countless dollars are spent on observation and data collection. But despite this, space weather science as a discipline is still in its nascent phase. While I have no doubt that NASA and NOAA play a vital role in monitoring solar phenomena and making space weather forecasts, we need to explore whether it makes sense to rely solely on government for addressing space weather challenges. In the 21st century, the landscape has changed, and as we can see from our witnesses today, the federal government isn't the only game in town, nor should it be. Forecasting space weather depends on understanding the fundamental processes that give rise to hazardous events. Particularly important is the study of processes that link the Sun-Earth system and that control the flow of energy toward our planet. Partners in the private sector can and should use their advanced, innovative technologies to help us more thoroughly understand these phenomena and improve our space weather predictions. In the face of space weather challenges, instead of continuing to think inside the government-only box, NASA and NOAA need to look to private partners who are ready and willing to help. Last year, President Trump signed into law the Weather Research and Forecasting Innovation Act, a comprehensive bill to increase our weather forecasting capabilities to better protect lives and property. What I like most about this legislation is that it requires personnel within government agencies to innovate by partnering with the growing private sectors in testing and validating its data in order to enhance our nation's forecasting capacity and capabilities. It is my hope that on the subject of space weather, we will continue to look to the Weather Research and Forecasting Innovation Act as a model. Adverse space weather presents unique challenges, and the consequences of inaction could be far-reaching and catastrophic. However, I believe that through the right combination of government monitoring, private industry innovation, and good old American determination, we will be able to respond to any future challenges that may arise. I look forward to learning more today from our excellent panel of witnesses about this topic, about their efforts to advance understanding in this field, and about the technologies and methods that will lead the way to a better and smarter future. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time. I now recognize the gentleman from Colorado sitting in for the ranking member of the Environment Subcommittee, Mr. Perlmutter, for an opening statement.